We have Rabbi Yossi Shemtov here with us on the Talkback this evening. Thank you very much for your time. The Passover is coming up on Monday, and for people that aren't familiar with that and the services that you have coming up, tell us a little bit about that and how people can get involved in it.
Well, Passover lasts for 8 days. Monday night and Tuesday night, we have public seders where we invite everyone to join us for 3,000-year-old traditions. It's a fascinating service. God taught us in the Torah to remember it all. So we have customs displaying complete freedom because we were freed that night from Egypt. We also have customs displaying complete slavery because we were told in the Torah, never forget how low you were once so that you'll never mistreat other people. So on that night, we drink wine and we recline because the kings in the old days would recline on their couches. We're completely free. Immediately afterwards, we take a piece of onion or parsley and we dip it in salt water because, you know, tears taste like salt water.
Right.
We never want to forget. We never want to forget all those tears we shed when we were in slavery.
Do you feel like sometimes, though, in your teachings at least, it's something you need to continually remind people how far, not just people of your faith have come, but of any faith have come, and how fortunate in some ways we are today?
We are very fortunate in this country where America offers us complete freedom, each one to do exactly as they were taught, and no one will bother you. My parents were born and raised in Russia, and I was always mesmerized, although I'm thrilled I don't have to live through it, how my father would tell me that when Passover came, to bake matzah, you could be punished and thrown into jail for that. So they had no matzah. But he, as a child, and his brothers and sisters would never be willing to touch a slice of bread, which was also precious, for 8 days. And they basically, by their own will and choice, almost starved, lived on grasses, burnt flour, made up all kinds of things not to have to touch a little bit of bread. He would always tell me how they felt like they were connected to 3,000-year-old years of tradition.
To so much tradition. Now you have a week's worth of celebrations coming up. Give us an idea of what people would expect, starting Monday and then going forward.
Our Rebbe, who sent us to Toledo to establish the Chabad House, asked us that we should have 2 public seders so that anyone in Toledo who wasn't invited to one of the seders could call us and make a reservation and join us for the seder nights. We have the matzah. This matzah is very, very difficult to create and make. $18 to $23 for a pound of these matzahs.
Wow, okay.
And they don't make a lot of money off it. It's a difficult, but we want to have exactly a replica of what our ancestors had in Egypt. The idea of the matzah is it has the same ingredients as bread. One difference, you never let it puff up.
Never let it rise.
Our Torah says that's symbolic of the human ego, the arrogance.
Oh, wow, okay.
And so for 8 days a year, we internalize the idea, don't be puffed up, be humble.
Good.
And the first thing we say by the Seder is, this is the bread of poverty that our ancestors ate. Everyone's invited to my Seder table. You know, usually there are certain people who I don't want by my table.
Right.
On the Seder night, we say, I was a slave. If you don't have where to celebrate, please join me. It doesn't matter. We're all humble tonight.
Okay, so people can contact the Chabad House if they want to get involved and want to come by and see it. Rabbi Shemtov, we thank you very much for your time and wish you the best of luck.
I really appreciate you inviting me.
Thank you very much, and that's your Talk Back.